India and Russia are having a lot of trouble trying to separate themselves from the dollar. India has been buying billions of dollars of oil and other commodities from Russia on the dirt cheap. Since Russia can't really hold dollars, they are accepting payments for this oil in rupees. Rupees are not doing well as a currency. They're one of the few world currencies that's actually doing worse than the Russian ruble. And now the Russians have a huge surplus of Indian rupees that they can't do anything with. They can't turn it into dollars, and for some reason they're not turning it into yuan just yet. It's come to the point where India and Russia have just agreed to accept payments for oil in any other currency except for the Indian rupee. Because if this keeps continuing, then the Russians are going to end up with tens of billions of dollars in Indian rupees that they're not going to be able to do anything with, because Russia buys very little from India, yet India buys much more from Russia, and I believe that their imports from Russia have increased by 400%. Now Russia is asking to be paid in UAE dirhams, that's the United Arab Emirates. They want to be paid even in their own currency, rubles, and of course they would prefer mostly to be paid in Chinese yuan. Now why is it so difficult for Russia to get paid in yuan for the oil that they're selling to India? It should be a no-brainer. And here's the problem with being paid into the Chinese currency. When the yuan was only traded in China, it was very easy for the Chinese government to control the value of that currency, but things are changing. Right now, Russia is accepting most of its payments in the Chinese yuan, and China is okay with that because they have so much control over Russia right now that they can set the price of their yuan to be whatever they want. Once China's currency starts circulating to all of these other parts of the world, it's going to be very difficult for the Chinese government to control the value of it. It can give other countries leverage to either crash or make the Chinese currency more valuable. That is a risk that the Chinese government is not willing to take because they need to make sure that their currency is low enough for their exports to remain cheap. But it also has to be high enough for the people inside China to be able to purchase goods and services. All in all, that is not looking very good for the BRICS nations. And if each of these economies are going to continue to be run the way they are, then they have no chance of forming any kind of rivalry with the US economy or the United States dollar.